So if you've been involved with the stock market for a while, then you know that it takes a good understanding of not only the markets, but human emotion as well. However, that's kind of easier said than done, especially when you think about work, family, school, and all the other responsibilities that we have. Finding consistent candidates to trade can be very challenging. So in this video, I'm going to break down some of the tips and strategies to help you find the next big mover, no matter what season of life you're in. Coming right up.
Hey, what's up? Rob here with Wealth Builders HQ, where we bring you the best tips and tools for building your skills to develop wealth for today and well into the future. And on this channel, we do a lot of stock market analysis for long and short term, as well as recaps just like this one. So if you're new here, consider subscribing. Now, one of the questions we get most from our Wealth Builders HQ community is, how do you look at where the stock market has been and determine where it is headed? So we have actually put together an entire free live training workshop that is all about finding the best candidates for today's market. And there's a section for the community, you, to bring your stocks to the event and have me analyze them for you in real time. This free workshop is called Power Hour, and it's taught every Monday live online at noon Eastern Time. I'll leave a link to it below in the show notes.
First, let's start off with a review of the S&P 500. Then we'll go take a look at the movers and shakers from last week. So we've got all these rectangles, rectangle, popping up all over the place. The very first rectangle a few weeks ago gave us about a month's worth of time. We had 5 days in the mid one, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 days in the last one, this lower rectangle again, and very consistent, right? All of them centering around that 2743 level. We broke above with a vengeance to the upside on Friday, up 23 points on the S&P 500. Phenomenal move at 23 points, right? Awesome. Well, now what? We need to get back into that uptrend and realistically break above the top of the previous rectangle before we truly have some belief that we're headed back into possibly some form of bullish move. Keep in mind, it is summertime, so you just never know. We just spent a very extensive amount of time reviewing the S&P 500 in the power option plays that I did this week, going over exactly where it's going, what it's doing next, what we're looking for. But that's in a nutshell what we're looking at here, guys. Get back up into that uptrend. So now let's look at some of the movers and shakers from last week. Right, so we have Amgen as our very first one. Now we have an open trade in power options plays on Amgen right now as we speak. We hit our very first target with 193.5 as our next target. Now remember, that's resistance. That's not where we're shooting for. We've got very specific and defined rules in power options plays on what we do as far as getting there and what our targets are. You're going to use your own risk profile to determine where that exit really should be. Right, for Biogen, whoa, man, what a great move. Now, they also have earnings coming up in just a couple of weeks, so be careful there. But remember, this is a pharma company. This company is not for the faint of heart. It happens to be one of my favorites to trade. No, I did not get to capitalize on that move on Friday. How would you know, right? It gapped up. What a great move. The question is going to be what it does from there. Facebook is our next one. Broke out of the 382, heading up to our 204.26 Fibit. Once we hit that, if we break through, we're looking at about 208 as our next target. If you're not in, it's too late. The in day was on Thursday. It's too late today if you missed out on it. Earnings coming up on them as well, so keep that in mind. And I know that because of the E down here. Right, then we're looking at Tesla. Wow, look at Tesla. Just what a great move overall to the downside. Nice bearish move. The orange bar, by the way, just represents the last time I did a power options play update. So we did one today for Monday, for tomorrow, and we're looking at just where the moves have taken place from the last update that we did and how our candidates did. We made about $9,000 from Thursday's open until Friday's close. So not too shabby. And of course, not typical or not what everybody can expect, but there are some very specific rules that you can follow. And of course, everything should always be done on paper first. Right, so we're looking at that 300, 297 level as our first downside, and then 273 on Tesla. Setting up in a good place potentially for rolling back over. And then WIN, W-I-N-N, also having earnings coming out. I think about 40% of our candidates have earnings coming up over the next couple of weeks, 2 or 3 weeks. Right, so WIN itself, let's go ahead and scrunch this down a little bit so you can see the lower targets. WIN is looking at 149 as the very first downside target. actually 155, then 149. If we do push up, and I'd love to see it do so, I want to get it near that 160 level on a rollover to take the bearish trade. It's too late to take it now. It's already moved. You need to wait for another setup into the right area before you do so. Let's go ahead and take a look now at economic reports and what's coming out this week. What do we have to be concerned with, or what should we be looking for this week? So Wednesday is the very first one. We have nothing really coming up US based anyway. If you're a futures trader, there's plenty of other ones out there if you're trading futures. So Wednesday, 10:30 a.m. is the crude inventory report, right? Prices are going down, then they're going back up. We're seeing, energy start to rise. There's concerns of import fees and taxes. Are they going to raise the price of oil because of that, and so forth? So this could be a very big report. Now, the way I trade this is I trade CL. I trade actual crude, the futures, when the report is coming out. We do a strangle type position in there. And right now, actually, in our E-mini think tank, we're going over and building a trading system out for news. We're doing it for earnings to trade the NQ, but you'll be able to take the exact same system with small modifications and roll it into other markets like this with crude. Now, Thursday at 8:30 a.m., two reports, both the same, right? CPI, Consumer Price Index, month over month is MM, right? And core CPI, which takes certain functions out, and not all of the Consumer Price Index, but only certain industries are related in there, okay? So those are the only ones that are major reports for this week. And then the earnings, we're starting to get some momentum in here. Pepsi is coming up on the 10th. Delta Airlines is coming up on the 12th, and lots of banks coming up on the 13th. So keep your eyes on these guys and see what's happening there. All right, now one last thing is, let's go ahead from our charts. Let's go ahead and look at the list of hot stocks or stocks to watch for this week. All right, Facebook, definitely a hot stock. We are up near the recent highs that we put in, right in here. If we can break above that level, that's awesome. Get above that 204 level, and it looks like you're moving to about 208. And then even from there, you're moving to about 220. Although we'd split this in half, which is what is called a fibit inside of there. We would definitely need a fibit there. So let's just do that now. Let me split this up so you have the right targets in there. So you're looking at getting above the 204 and a quarter level and making a move up to 208, and then 214 would be our next target. Google, G-O-O-G-L, is the one that I trade, not the G. I don't do the 4, I do the 5 letter. Right, so all the moving averages are in the right order. We had a great move to the upside. I mean, if you just look at it from 3 days ago, which was Tuesday, right? Or even Monday, 4 days ago, because remember, we were closed for the 4th, the market. Right, from down here, we've had a phenomenal move to the upside. We're looking at about 1174 as our next target. Guys, we can hit that in a day, just about. Google moves about $24 a day. So 50 to 74, we easily could see that happen in a one-day period. Netflix, whew. Now, they've got earnings coming up, guys, so be very careful here. You get above that 408 level, it looks like 423 is the next upside target. And then PANW, we got some legs going there. I'd like to see it move back to the moving average. Kind of missed out on this one already if you haven't taken it. I'd like to see it back about that 208-ish, 210 level, and a bounce. If we could see that happen, there's a potential entry. Fantastic.
I hope this update was helpful, and I would love to hear your feedback in the comments below. And actually, if you want more insights like this, you could just go over to wealthbuildershq.com. I'll post a link to it below. Now, the question of the day is, what stocks are you going to be looking at for next week? Go ahead and let me know in the comments section below. So thank you for checking out this video. Subscribe and ring the bell if you haven't done so yet. And until next time, Wealth Builders HQ is bringing you the best tips and tools for building sustainable wealth in the stock market. Keep crushing it, and we'll talk soon. Take care, folks.